Oh, I was muted? Damn. Well, hi again then. Hello, Gome70. Thank you for telling me. That was a surprise. Okay, well, I guess I mixed around with my settings. I did some regular recording before, so it might be because of that. Nice. Well, hello, Aslan. It seems like I never learn to check my OBS Studio settings before I actually start. Murder? Who's been murdered now, Aslan? So, what I was saying when I was muted is that I'm working on the emissive and I hope to be able to wrap some of that up today. We're looking at this part here and then some like light around the nose or the ridge, I think. But we will see how that pans out. The concept kind of has some weird glowy parts in there, but I'm not sure if that's actually going to work for what we are trying to accomplish. Or if that's just like, you know, sun and yeah, light effects. But we'll see if we can add something in there. Have a checklist, like a flight checklist. I have a checklist, Aslan. What happened though is when you have a checklist is that you know, you check it a couple of times and then you get lazy before every stream and then you're like, yeah, well, I probably have everything set up, and then you tend to forget some stuff like unmute or check muted. So it's not easy. It's super hot here. It's like 26 degrees in the shadow, I think. So indoors is not any cooler either, so I can hear kids playing outside still, like ball games or something. Base color, gonna make sure to uncheck. Okay. We're gonna kinda mimic what we have on the other side, so. Okay, so we have a little bit of that. What's this layer? Okay, that's that one. The red layer. I should probably name these. Red. Yellow tint. And, oh. Middle. Or something. Feel very creative with the names. And then orange BG, or yeah. Right. Hey Nium! How are you doing? Are you going to celebrate Midsummer? You're waiting for your pizza. Pizza is nice. This is Thursday, it's Glowy Eye Day. What is Glowy Eye Day? Or is it just that you're expecting me to just do glowy eyes the whole day? The whole stream? You're going to Belgium? Belgium? What's that name? Is that waffle place? Sounds nice though. Waffles. To Belgium. Oh, it was supposed to be a space bar in there. Right. I thought it was like a restaurant name. You're going to Belgium by yourself or with friends, partner? Belgian waffles is really nice. Start adding a little bit of red in here as well. Oh, with your partner. Cool. I didn't know you had met someone new though. Or maybe you have mentioned this, but I'm just forgetful. You haven't visited Belgium despite living there for, close by for a while? Seems overdue. About time then. I mean, it's like a 2-hour train ride or something to Bruges, I think. So it's like, you can go there for lunch and then back. Or you have by accident, Aslan, while driving home from Maastricht. Well, it's pretty close to each other, so it's not like you noticed that you entered like a new country, so. Oh, you mean when we went to Maastricht? Yeah. That's go welcome text message phone saying welcome to Belgium from my phone service provider. I think I didn't get one though when we were there. But I remember that we took the wrong turn. How's the Bowie box coming along? It is, it's getting there. It's not done yet, if that's what you're asking. No, but I'm trying out various, like, last stream I was trying out various ways of doing the missive in Marmoset, and I think kind of came to the conclusion that there's multiple ways of doing it with Marmoset, and that, well, none of them seem in particular be better than the other way, so now I'm trying to go with the one that would give me the closest result, basically. Like mixing them. Hello, Ron! How are you doing today? Are you done with your studies now? Are you the proud carpenter master of Kim Discord server yet? He's like the IRL 3D artist. You're doing great, Ron. You passed the stupid exam. So you can finally have some break from stress, not from learning. Oh, congratulations, as Aslan is writing. You're done. Rome, aka IRL environment artist reporting for service. But now you can build tons of cool stuff, Rome. Like customized tables, like Nest controller tables, and I don't know, giant structures. And I'm just thinking about something here, but I'm struggling. But yeah, well, custom furnitures, that's something that you can do. So if I remove these again, that's not very... They're not very intense glowing. Right. Kim is moving to a new apartment. She needs furnitures. I have IKEA though, Aslan, but they're not gonna do cool custom builds, unfortunately. Really cool ass table that is good for board games. Well, actually, I have plans to build my own table. I'm not a carpenter, so I'm just gonna wing it, but that's basically what I have as a side project going on. If she can wait for another 2 years, she will have a furniture production technician ready to go, hopefully. That sounds like a cool title, furniture production technician. Print 3D print a table out of wood? Nah, I'm actually gonna use an old-fashioned hammer and wood, like real wood. We'll see if I end up with a table or just like some sticks and nails that is attached together. Okay, so turn color on, and guess we're looking for a faint yellowish hue or something. We'll make a new layer and see if we can add to that emissive layer. You thought I was going to use a hammer and a sickle thing, I was going to come this really fast. Orison, hello. Is there a way to export your texture looking like this in the game engine without adding the needed material, or is it going to look like this in Substance Painter? Well, I mean, it depends on all the things you're adding in the engine, I guess, and also the engine, like how you render it. So this is not really how it looks like in the engine I've chosen. I chose to go with Marmoset, so if you look at it, it's very shiny and bland. And then you go to Marmoset and the colors are more vibrant, it's not as shiny. But that's also very much due to the fact that I have a lot of lights going on in here that I've added. And I also like played around a little bit with exposure, contrast, and like camera post-process effects. So if I turn everything off and have it just like plain without light or anything, it's gonna look very different from what it does right now. And like you can do this with any game engine, add post-process effects and stuff. So when you are texturing, as you can see, it won't really do the same output. So that's why I'm always going back and forth and looking in the engine and testing to see. And like if this object will be in different maps with different lighting conditions, it's going to change appearance as well. So yeah, it depends on like a lot of different conditions, and different engines read maps differently as well. So I guess you can get the same look as I have here, but I mean, doesn't look as nice as the other scene. Are you welcome? You love to see the look of Woodcraft store employee face when he came with 2 large wooden boards and 10 packs of duct tape just dashing through the checkout. Thank you for the follow, Jacobert. Duct tape. You don't have that much faith in me, do you? It's gonna look nice. I promise it will look amazing. My main first issue is to make sure that the table is standing. After that, the rest is easy peasy. Or I like to believe so. Let's see, add some glowy thingies here. Thank you for the follow, Risen. A bit of glow here. And apparently some here as well. I hope it will fade nicely. We will see. And down here as well. Just wanna try and see how this would look. Oh, that's right. I have a emissive map from Photoshop plugged in because I was doing stuff in there. So actually, it might be better if I continue the emissive map in Photoshop. Yeah, I wasn't too happy about how it turned out in Substance Painter. Now I remember. Well, I mean, I did try everything during Tuesdays. I should remember this. Here we have the other map that I just exported. Just gonna add it here. Let's see, hue, colorize. Right. And we'll override this one and see how it look like in Marmoset.
Seems we have a guest with an intriguing destiny. This place exists between dream.
Wait, did I? Did I not save it properly? Okay. I'm gonna exchange it. Apparently I have double names in here now. So now it's on. You can see it a little bit here, but since I haven't bumped up this effect, it's less noticeable. Flowtix? How are you doing? Did you figure out how you want to do with the snow? I didn't read Discord after I answered you. I know this is not a real game engine, but will an engine also calculate the black space of a light map? A light map? Do you mean the emissive map, or...? Because a light map is a different thing though, Aslan. The emissive map. Yeah, no, it won't really read it as light. You're going with the mesh workflow ticks. Okay, cool. That's nice. I think that will work neatly. Wonder if I can add... Maybe we should lower the brightness of these a little bit. Okay. Will you make the drops out of that light on his nose? Drops, do you mean like... you mean like around the ridge? Here? Like teardrops almost? I'm gonna experiment with it at least and see how we should approach it. Yeah, but we'll experiment with all the different lights in there. There's also some light in the small, like the underside of the foot as well. So I might go in and add a, like, I don't know, cylinder or something to give some light in there, like an emissive cylinder. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not like we're sticking to the concept too much anyway, since, well, the material definition is a little bit off. I was gonna try something. Oh yeah, that's right. I wanted to see if I could spread out some of the glowy pieces here as well. Right, so let's try this. Because it feels like it's a little bit more like outside of the eye. See if we can fake that a little bit. Like fake glow. I don't know. I don't know what to call it. Let's just try. Yeah, that looks cooler, right? Like it adds with the... like it adds to the effect. It feels like almost like together with the light that it's you know, glowing, spilling a little bit outside. Since the lamp is not really doing that for us. Hello, Wisla! So we could try that with the top part here as well, since we don't have any light in here. Let's see if we can get that little like effect. And I want to try an airbrush on that and see if that changes thing. Is anything happening? Oh, it has a transfer. Let's... oh wait, no, the black square is... there we go. Okay, now it works. Let's see. It's a little bit too big. Let's see if that adds anything. The other one is more painterly, but see if it fakes a glow nicely. Hello, Hitax. Thank you. Yeah, definitely been a while. How are you doing? Oh, you guys are talking about the art jam challenge. Yeah, it seemed like you guys progress in there. You're doing really good. It's gonna be interesting to see when everyone gets to like texturing and rendering and stuff like that. Material definition. I think we have to add a bit more to that to make it feel like it's Are you playing WoW Classic, Hitax? Trying to cope with the 2005 3D low. I'm looking forward to play Classic as well when it's like properly released. I think it was August or something. The concept has geometry for an eye, love art. You mean here? Do you mean this eye? I'm reading it as it's going inwards, but Some people pointed out they feel like it's going outward, but for me it feels like it's going in, so I don't know. I went with like going in effect instead. In the end of August, Hightex. Yeah, it's really ugly. Wow. You hope to use newer assets to renew it because God, it's ugly. Well, it's WoW Classic, and like they also pointed out that they're gonna keep some of the bugs, or like, well, they were part of the game, but people like, what? Really? There were some like really slow progress, or like tracking with quests and like spawning ratio and stuff like that. Or people like, you're gonna keep that, and they're like, well, it's part of the classic experience, so they're not gonna update that. Wiesla, from the left eye, it looks like it's coming out. Because it has an outer shape. Then again, when you... Okay. Well, I mainly been looking at the one to the... I don't know, maybe I'm... Yeah, no, I can't read that as like popping out. Because it feels like it's glowing evenly here, and like the darker part feels like it's going in, because the highlight is on the edges. And that feels, well, it makes it feel like it's actually in. I don't know, I just can't see the other way around with the depth, but I mean... Huh. Well, it's free, I guess, interpretation of concept. So if anyone else would like to have a go at it and then make them pop out, then, I mean, we're gonna have different looks. So I think that's pretty neat. Shame I can't ask the concept artist what their intention was. Otherwise it would be quite easy to like be, hey, is it going in or out? Well, thank you, Isla. No, if anyone else would have interpreted as going out, that would have been great as well. I'm trying to see how it would look differently, but I mean, yeah, it could be popping out as well. I think it's sometimes really hard to, interpret a concept art, and this is one of them, I guess, where everyone is seeing different things. But that's also quite nice how the brain works, and like how you interpret things differently. So that's quite cool. It's like two... I can see how you think it's like 2 gems here and then 1 up here. You saw the jam in the Discord, Tix? Yeah, I posted it like, I think... Yeah, people were asking for a jam, so it's been going on for 2.5 weeks, I think? It's like the dance silhouette where she could be spinning one way or another. But I mean, I think it's always interesting when it comes to these things. It's also like how people interpret like reality and realism. Like some people think some are some special like different types of styles in games are really realistic, but if you would take that and compare to a movie or some photos, you will notice that it's not realistic and it's actually kind of stylized. But if you only look at it, then it can feel very realistic. I always think it's fun to look at the like different ways of like perceiving things. I think I actually have a book somewhere here. Let me have a look. I have some art books here. Like... I think it's this one. Designing with the mind in mind. It's called. It says, making sense of the psychology behind design rules so your designs make sense. Takes fundamental principles of psychology, illustrates combined with fundamental principles of design. And then it's quite a catchy phrase here. Stir gently until fully blended. Read daily until finished. Caution, mixture is addictive. But it's a really nice book. I would recommend it because it's talking about how we interpret, like the brain is interpreting different ways of colors and patterns and recognitions, and that our brains is like constructed with, like, it's very pattern reading. So it's a book that I've been reading quite a few times, like, well, not the full one, but like just looking through chapters and stuff. So if you're interested in how our brains and minds work together with making art and designs, it's definitely worth skimming through at least. Did I bore everyone? Everyone was like, books? Papers? You read those things? So I think we will have to soften this out a little, because it felt like the lines were very harsh. Or well, we could also just do like this. Text, no one looks at squigglies. I still read books, even if it's like outdated. Books are nice. Oh, you posted link to the dance silhouette, Wisla. Let me have a look. Ah, you mean this one? Oh, it looks for me that she's spinning backwards. That's interesting. So some people would see it spinning the other way. I'm staring at it and I'm trying to make my brain look at it as it like spinning the other way around, but I'm only seeing that like one direction. I'm like, can't see it in the other direction. Some can make it alternate. Wow. Now I'm jealous. I would like to be able to do that. Just switch your mind. That would be cool. You see her spin with her back going forward. I think I'm doing that as well. with lack of how to explain how it otherwise would spin. Oh yeah, I remember that, Wisla, the black and gold versus blue dress thing. Yeah, I saw a lot of people posting about that. It's quite funny. By default, if you look hard enough, I can see it go counterclockwise. Well, then maybe you can alternate a little bit. I'm gonna do an experiment later. I'm just gonna sit and stare at that spinning dancer. See if I can also make her change direction. See how this look? It's definitely a little bit softer. Now, let's adjust this a little bit because we still want to have light in the eyes, but not that much. So we're gonna dampen this down a little bit. Right. Let's try to add something here and around the nose and see if it's if it looks good, basically. Oh, maybe we shouldn't go for black. And there's apparently a little bit of red in here as well. It almost looks like he's crying blood or something. If I did use any generators for like edge detection or other things in Substance for texture, they use freehand bunch of empty layers. Some of them are used freehand. So I have a curvature map, but I don't have a cavity map. So the curvature map helps with a little bit of it. So like some type of depth in here, but some highlights and extra shadows is stuff that I've added. But like this part here is due to the curvature map, and then like a lot of I guess fill layers. But they're not really generators. Some of them are just basically me taking a color, like here is curvature map but brown, so I'm just colorizing the curvature map. So it's like a little bit old school in that way, like you would have textured it in Photoshop without the generator, and I didn't really feel like the generator gave me a nice output or result. Just because I didn't really have the right, I guess, maps for it. Didn't make a cavity map, so couldn't really get them to do exactly what I wanted to have. So that's gonna definitely need to be very, very thin. That's gonna have to be more red. Or orangey, I guess. It's like a very thin line here. It has an orange outline. Yeah. Can see what we can do about this. You wanting to retexture your character you're doing. Okay. So you're looking for tips on how to texture it basically then? Like how you're doing this guy. Start with orange and paint yellow in the middle. We can add a layer underneath that though. And add a little bit of this orangey, because it's not like a super strong, it's like almost a little bit smudgety. So like how I'm coming up with new, not existing words. Let's try and see what happens. Are you back, Tix? Wow, okay, I forgot to remove that one. Don't wanna have the whole thing shining. There we go. So let's grab a screenshot, because it's easier to look at it from a flat picture. See, where did it end up? That's how that look. So it's a very strong line, so you're gonna have to smudge it out like the rest. And we also have to kind of tone down the yellowish, like glowy part from everything, kinda. You've taken over the entire chat, Wisla. No, I just think some people are not as chatty right now, or sometimes people are answering, so you just chat as much as you want. Yeah, but toning down the yellow. And the intensity of this guy. And let's add another capture, and then we can compare. So that's the previous one, and that's the one with the tone, like a slight tone down. Right. Well, if that's gonna work, I'm gonna have to add the thing alongside the nose as well. Yeah, you can link your ArtStation if you like, Wisla. Just link ahead. Also, I think you posted it in Discord, but I mean, whatever. You can link. Let's see if we can do some camera settings here. So what I'm doing is trying to get a little bit more like the concept with it's very autographic in a way, how the way it's rendered, kinda. Let's try 18. Wonder what happens at 0. Well, I'm gonna play around with this a lot before we do the final render later, but that's quite nice. Let's go back to Substance and do the paint with the nose. Oh, you guys, I like that you're praising each other. That's really nice. Masterclass from last year. Oh, you guys took one of the masterclasses? Like from the ArtStation page, or is it like some other page? Oh, Daniel Tiger. Yeah, he's really, really good in Designer. He has a couple of tutorials, like, he's kind of divided them up in nice chunks. It's not like other tutorials where you would go and just like, let's create a mud material, or let's create a ground material, and then like, you only know how to create a mud or a ground material, and you're left confused being like, what is this node actually doing? He's actually explaining a lot of those things, so that's, I like that a lot. So, I concur. I can also recommend his tutorials. See if we can add some Josh Lynch. Yeah, I recognize that name as well. I think you can buy all of their tutorials like on Gumroad or Qbrush or something like that. Josh is a little bit better approach and more organized. Well, Algorithm also have very good tutorials on their website, so but I like it when people explain what they're doing and why. Otherwise I wouldn't really understand what I'm doing, or like, why is this such a good way of doing something. So I think it's really hard to come over really nice tutorials in general where people are explaining and not just doing. They like click a lot and then you're like, okay, what actually happened? Thanks for linking Tix in the chat. If you guys are looking for stuff for Unreal as well, I can recommend looking at Clinton Crumpler's documentation. He's one of the guys who started that subway train and then made a lot of documentation on it. I think he also have a couple of like video tutorials. Hello, Daniel. Oh, you got mentored by Clinton. Yeah, I think he's amazing. He's also like, oh wait, we're not supposed to paint down there. I think he's the guy who had the Decagon packs that he's selling as well, together with other artists. I was just gonna say I can link you, but Tix was already ahead of me. Your goal right now is to work for DICE? That's neat. Is it because you like the way we do graphics, or is it because you want to work for like a war game, or what is it that makes you want to work at DICE? The other issue, Wisla, is that I've been teaching all this stuff like 8 years, but I don't have a portfolio kept up. Oh, so you're slowly building one now? I love art. You're suggesting to do alchemist instead of a designer, as it's easier, or Quixel mixer. Well, designer is a bit harder to learn. I think alchemist is kind of the in-between, so you don't have to be as technical and do node and graphs and stuff. It's quite like basic materials are quite easy, but then if you want to dig deep in design, it can be like a mess. Oh, you love the graphic and you love Battlefield. Oh, okay. I'm gonna give you guys a secret. Oh well, it's not much of a secret. I don't like Battlefield. I like it as a franchise, but I can't play it, if we say it that way instead. I'm so bad at aiming and playing with like first-person camera, and then I've tried with like a controller, and then you just die because you're turning slower than the PC player, and like it's not really my type of game. But I like what we're doing as like creators for the game, but it's not my game to play. I can't play Overwatch either for the same reasons. What is this? Why did you do that, Substance? What am I supposed to do with this? Did I not paint an emissive layer? Let's have a look. Yeah, I did. Or is it just that split? Am I painting? Okay, yeah, that's right, I'm painting in a split. Okay. Wisla, Battlefield's gorgeous, not my kind of game though. I'm not a competitive FPS player. No, that is true. High tax. People tend to go too fast. That's why I like MMOs more. Yeah, I like playing Divinity right now, or I like playing Uncharted, but then I'm not competing against other people that are like killing you within 5 seconds. So, and MMOs is more also calmer. So, yeah. I agree. You have a good reflex but no brain tics, so you tend to go for the FPS games. Well, after being working now with multiple different games, and I also worked like on a title, Horizon, something that I would have otherwise really much wanted to play. Then after developing for that game, I couldn't play it, so I rather develop for games that I don't necessarily play myself, so I can enjoy playing the games I like. And because the thing is that you see all the things that you could have done better, so that's why I can't really play Horizon, because it's like, well, I developed for it. I've seen it in all different kinds of stages, and like all the mistakes and all the bugs, and all, like, developing for that, and then you're gonna enjoy playing it when you kind of already played it 300 times, like QA testing and stuff as well, and just testing your own environment and so on. It just takes the fun out of it. So I'm quite sad that I couldn't play that, really. or like enjoy it as any other game. Visla, you stream Bloodstain on the other hand for like 10 hours last night. Wow. Damn, that's a long time. 10 hours. Jesus. You can't tell I'm pretty chill judging by this stream. I am quite chill, I guess. That's a good thing, I think. This is just how I am, otherwise. Takes Horizon, in my honest opinion, is best game of 2017. Aww. I'm always glad when people say that. Makes me happy. Makes it worth like all those like blood, sweat and tears that we poured into the game. And then we have you, Daniel, that play the games you work with and make streams and YouTube videos out of them. Yeah, well, you're a special snowflake, Daniel. I don't understand how you can play those games as much as you do and then also develop for them. Yeah, exactly, Visa. It's like looking at your own art and you know all the things that are wrong with it. Yeah. That's pretty much it. But then also like, you know, we already played it, but not from start to finish as you guys have experienced, but like a bit of everywhere multiple times, and then there's always new things that are broken, or when it was just white boxed and half finished and animation didn't work, which can be quite hilarious as well, but you know, it ruins the fun, the moment, like the whole thing, the story and so on for you. If I would not work on a Zelda game, maybe get an offer from Nintendo. Well, you know me, Aslan. I would have killed for working at Zelda, like, if you asked me a couple of years ago. And now? No. Actually not. Because now I know how like the game can be ruined for you if you know, develop for it. So, no, I would not take the offer, Aslan. Not anymore. Because I want to enjoy Zelda. It's my favorite game, so... It acts like a flavor, like any other, being chill and all. It's cool being around chill people. You would have murdered me, I know. Yeah, right. Oh, you people. It's nice that you keep me company. It makes the whole making art like this more fun. It would have been very boring to sit just do this by myself. But also at the same time can be very confusing, because now I don't really know what I'm doing. I was looking at this one, right? Oh yeah, okay. So we added like yellow down here. So now we need to smudge it a little bit, I guess. Smudgy, smudgy. Which is gonna be a little bit hard, I guess? Or... no, oh, it's just that it's stretched here. Okay. Right, we're gonna have to add... because we can't keep them too yellowy either. So let's start smudging this one a little bit. Every time you play a game, you to get tons of screenshots takes and reverse engineer all of the stuff. You always wonder, Wisla, if I helped on next Tomb Raider game, if you would be able to enjoy the game after all. Well, some people, like, I mean, Daniel enjoys the game he's making, I guess, but some people like me don't. I'm also taking a lot of screenshot and reverse engineered stuff as well. That quote. Give a man a game and he will have fun for a day. Teach a man to make games will never fun again. Very harsh, but applicable, I guess. Well, I did a lot as well, Tix, like looking at if it's tessellated, how they would have baked it, and how they would have textured it, and like all of those things. And sometimes I still do, but not as much actually anymore as I used to do. Oh, we shouldn't add like this halo glove everywhere. Should have a little bit here. Here. Sayad, or where would hide the UV seams exactly? I'm not sure if it has so much to do with the fact that I am lead ticks, that I'm not. I think it's just that I don't play too many games anymore. Like I'm playing one game now. I play that for quite a lot, which is Divinity. And I guess I look at stuff sometimes, but well, I always look at the graphics, of course, but analyzing in the same way as I used to is not as much. This is what I like about Photoshop. It's so easy to like fiddle around and copy paste things. Where is that line though? What's that? Okay, here we go. Think. I should not do it horizontally, I should do it vertically. Where do we have that black box? Right, it's this one. Now we're gonna have to look because it's mismatching here. I was like, I don't have to look at the picture, but I guess I have to. Let's try this and see how mismatched it is. You still haven't played that one. How I'm liking it, Wisla. Well, I really enjoy it. I'm playing it with some friends. I think we have 90 hours in it or so. We play every Monday. And And I mean, if I would have played it by myself, I don't think I would have enjoyed it as much as like playing together with other people. So I would definitely recommend playing it with others. It feels like I actually painted this one too far up. Yeah, looks like I did. The only game you didn't take any screenshots from is Fortnite. Installed and uninstalled in a minute. I guess you didn't like it then. You get distracted by the music because it's hey, listen, hey, listen. Yeah, well, I do really recommend playing it with others, Wisla, because there's like a lot of character progression and like, you know, I don't want to spoil anything, but at certain points you actually also build characters and get special extra things by talking to each other, or like the way you behave and act and stuff. So really fun to play with other people. But then again, like I like single player games as well, but this is like one of the games where I would have been a bit bored if I played it myself. So that's the glow. I should really name stuff. Nope. Nope. If I can't find that layer, I will just paint with black. Well, I can't, so. Just. Now it's gone. Put that on the top and guess we can actually remove that other, exactly that one. The music is a little bit weird. It's one of those remix things, so you like the offset crack? Well, it didn't align with, you know, it was just like on in between, so. Okay, yeah. We are almost there. I'm gonna mask away some of the like darkness I added here. Oh, that's other layer. You had to mute the stream because I thought the conversation was happening on another tab I had open. Only realized was the stream. Maybe the music? Yeah, I think it was part of like the end of that remix. Now it's a new list, a new remix, and it seems like it's Pokemon remix from some of the games. So if we can get the same bit fading effect here, then we should be good, I think. Let's try to just exaggerate it a bit and see what happens. Confession, you only ever played like 10 minutes of the original Pokemon? Oh my god. You should go and play right now. But because you wrote original Pokemon, does that mean you played other Pokemon games? I just, you know, skipped Blue and Yellow and Red. I could never get into it. Yeah, I kind of didn't really understand anything about the game anyway, because I couldn't read English, so... but I thought it was fun. I mean, it's cute small monsters fighting each other, right? Nope, never any. Wow. Well, I never played the Final Fantasy games, except for like the 10th for 10 minutes and then quit. So I guess it's similar. We both missed like a big, huge franchise and like couldn't really get into it either. How dare you? Aslan is triggered. You think you found your vocation, Tix? Oh. I don't really know what to say. It looks kind of interesting, the design. Actually, the proportions are quite... Yeah, the proportions are quite interesting. The bottom part and the long here, it actually is quite a special, like... I think I've seen the character design like this before. Like with a longer torso. I can't recall where, but I've seen some concept art. Ugly as fuck. No, I wouldn't say that. I mean, you sculpt a random thing. I don't think it's ugly. I think it's very interesting, the proportions in it. I've seen character designs like this, like concept art, so... I think like proportion-wise when it comes to the nose, eyes and ears and stuff as well, that there are some interesting things going on, so... Are you going to make me play FFF when it comes out? FF7, I mean. Then the faith in humanity might get restored. Well, thanks. I seldom think stuff. You will delete the entire series and only put that thing on ArtStation. I seldom think people's art or creations are ugly. I always find that there is some stuff in there that are very, you know, thought through or interesting. You can trace kind of how people thought about their creation process. Like there's always like thoughts behind the thing, like decisions and so on. Like it goes back to this book I was talking about, designing with the mind in mind. I like analyzing things, so there was nothing good. No. As I said, I found the proportions interesting, and I've seen that type of character design before. There's not like things that are off in the proportions since it's like intentional, so... The thing is, I was thinking it was an RPG, so I was approaching it like it... Oh, you were approaching Pokemon like it was an RPG. I found it boring. Main reason at the time Pokemon came out is already finished Chrono Trigger, Zelda... and just so many better games for me. Haven't played Chrono Trigger. Zelda and Pokemon. So I guess like for us it's reversed. I didn't play Final Fantasy. And you also like darker games at the time. Pokemon is Pokemon, not RPG. I'm in denial about this, always will be. But this like helps in faking that there's some light there. It's just maybe a little bit notch too. Maybe I should just remove that layer and see if this is a little bit more aligned with the rest. I want to try making a character at some point. It was a long time ago I tried it. Let's smudge this line out a little bit. It's a little bit too harsh. I got Pokemon Phil when I played through Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne. Haven't tried that. Is that something you recognize, Aslan? You tend to know a lot more about games than I do. You don't think you're gonna do it again, Dex? Not in a million years for sure. Like, try more character art, you mean? Or... You want a Pokemon game that looks like Detective Pikachu in the movie, but that won't happen. There are some Pokemon games where you actually run some kind of club. You play as Pikachu. I think it's called Dungeon Mystery or something like that. Shine Megami Tensei is the same universe as Persona. You have to enlighten me about that as well then, Hassan. Persona. But I do recognize that more than the other one. You can oh, you want the graphics to look like real Animal and Monster, not the cute style that even the villains have. I think I've seen some realistic Pokemon art. From a concept artist. You want this? Or maybe not that, but this one. Venusaur. Yes, you love that guy's art. I think they are pretty cool. Should ask him to sell it to Nintendo or something, Game Freak studio, and ask them to make that game for you. So we need a little bit more glowiness up here, but otherwise I think it's coming together, the glow part of it. Oh, but I seem to have turned off the... There we go. Pokemon VR or AR? That could be cool. Persona is a time management RPG where you manage your high school life, dating, studying, going to sport activities by day and use life skills acquired to fight supernatural creature in dungeon at night. And that sounds really weird. You think I might like it? Doesn't really sound like my game, Aslan. If you find Lugia, you will shit myself a bit. I think there are some Pokemons that are going to look really intimidating. You love the SMT and Persona game art. So that's kind of became your Pokemon. Also, the story and the theme are much darker, and our M-rated games usually are. Did you guys ever get into Digimon? I felt like that was the adult version of like Pokemon in a sense. Well, not adult, but like if Pokemon was kids, then Digimon was more like for teenager or something. It felt like they were trying to be more hip and cool than Pokemon. High text, yes, Digimon. Anyone who watched the newest, like, Digimon season? So Digimon was the shit, okay. Had one of those watchers they had. You don't know the name in English? Oh, the small like pocket diggy thingy? Oh, you didn't have the games, Wiesla, for Digimon? No, I didn't either. I just watched the show, basically, because it was airing, I think, half an hour before Pokemon at TV when I was a kid, and then I was awake anyway, so might as well watch that as well. So, but my favorite was still Pokemon. You think you played Pokemon? Oh, I mean, Digimon on PlayStation 2. Oh, you must mean Tamagotchi, then, High-Tax? It was like one of those e-pets you had to feed and walk and... Yeah. Tamagotchi! I had one of those. It died a lot. It was very demanding. What's this smudge here doing? Oh. Feed the poopy pets. So you had a Tamagotchi, but from Digimon then, High-Tax. Do you remember which of the Digimons you had? I guess you had, like, one of the main characters, Digimon. Interesting. So that shadow is coming from something else than the metal. It's the AO map then, I assume. It must be. Actually, it doesn't look like it. Is it a curvature? Huh. Interesting. Here it seems to be the albedo. So it's baking that into this one, I guess. Yeah, I guess it's not in the occlusion map I baked. Okay. Have to fix that. They had birthday every day, Aslan, like a nightmare girlfriend, I guess. Like a nightmare partner is the correct term here, I would say, Aslan. High-Tex, you're a pathetic father, killed all my Tamagotchis a million times. It's kind of like preparing you for taking care of kids and real pets, I guess. About killing style, what about The Sims? I actually did play it as, you know, properly. I didn't kill any of my Sims. I got really upset if one of them would actually go and die. Especially in the first game. I was really sad if that happened. I would actually, you know, stop playing and, you know, start a new file. You had a yellow dinosaur. I don't recall the name. In Spanish it was voiced very funny. Like Yoda. Yeah, I guess you... yeah, dubbed. Exactly. Some dudes are really needy too. Yeah. Some dudes are really needy, Aslan. You play Sims without the left mods. Then you haven't played Sims. I actually played the game as intended. As boring as that might sound. That's exactly what I was doing. I don't like that part here. And I can't find the error in here, so it's basically some kind of map that Marmoset or Substance baked, so that's sad. How did that all of a sudden become super brown? That's just weird. Sometimes I don't really understand what it is doing. It seems like it's bugging. So it didn't change anything. And also it seems to be one of the layers in here. Because now it's fine again. But now the other metal is weird and wonky. Okay. It's like QA testing a program. And now it's saving. Great. And now that's fine again. Just like clicking on and off on layers is apparently helping. Weird. No, I don't think so, High-Tax. It just seems to be bugging sometimes, that it's like recalculating, but it's actually not really recalculating, and then if you find the right layer and just like turn it on and off, it goes back to what you had before. I had that a couple of times. It's always like, why? Why is it doing it like this? But I think it's just sometimes having hiccups and is buggy, I guess. So this one is very plain, same color. So we should try to add another variation on it. Let's add a generator or something in. And let's see, we're gonna add that one in a folder and then only mask out the back part of it. Chest butt. Yeah, it's the chest butt. See if the AO gives us some nice extra I like how even if I have it on 0, it's still there. That's a bit weird. So now it's kind of turned off, but at the same time it's... Oh, okay, well, I have all the... I forgot. I'm stupid. Now it's off. Okay, and we can change this to a little bit more. Hello, you're gonna lurk for a bit while you work? Well, that's fine. Exactly as Aslan said, you're very welcome to. Working alongside other artists helps push myself. Well, I have the same thing as well, so. There's strength in lurking, Aslan. Because you know this because I play stealth games. Nice. I get more work done by having people here joining me in chat, so I guess we all benefit from it in one way or another. Oh, I forgot to export texture. I think I should darken the color a bit on this guy. Nope. Not too happy about that. It's also very lacking in roughness, right? Yeah, there we go. That's not good. Let's do something about that as well. Not looking bad, shiny everything. I'm aiming for shininess. Not too much though. Let's see. Can try some of these spots, I guess. No, that one. Let's go for like the regular B&B spot thingy. Oh, I was supposed to add a mask. Let's add a... Wow! Bam! That's a lot of reflections. Now when we have something that's a little bit exaggerated, then we can dial that back a bit. But we don't want to have it on the whole thing, so let's I don't know, this brush maybe? Now I go back to base color, so we can adjust that as well. If it wants to any day. So let's export and try this. Maybe we should do something similar with the rest of the metal as well. We need some kind of extra light back here. Okay, not that much. Just to not have it as dark, I guess. So a little bit of difference in there. So these definitely needs a, you know, go darker as well. The butt light. Yeah, I added a butt light. If I added metalness to the green part as well, you mean here on the front? Yeah, I did. I'm changing some stuff in the material definition of the concept art, since, well, I thought it was a little bit, well, bland, I guess. Same type of material in the whole thing. So I thought this looked nicer. Spotlight is important. How else would you get the money shot? To me it looks like the concept that the green thing is more like paint. Yeah, I'm honestly unsure about anything in the concept, because that green part looks exactly the same as the frame of the chest, the gold. Not the horn, because that's a little bit more shiny touch. And the brown ring and like the metal. So I'm trying to make things stick out a little bit or change in general the material. And I thought metal will be a bit more nicer. So I'm just interpreting and changing things as I like it. So if we see, if I add this part, let's have a look now when it has the same as the rest. Whatever floats my boat, yeah. Well, look at that. I think that looks more interesting than like the brighter thing I had before. Yeah. Let's go with that instead. Let's do some touch up here to be a little bit more like this, so it has also some more interesting feel. Hiding the widgets, Aslan. No, blasphemy. Why would I hide them? I like to have them there. The brown metal also needs some touching up, but we'll fix that later. See, the gold is very spread out. I just didn't care about naming anything apparently. So that's that. Okay, so that's for... I added some splooshy thingy here as well. Let's copy this thing, and I wanna try and see. Ooh, okay, no, it's too much. It's way too much. Maybe I can add a fill. let's make a folder and drop that in there. Oh, hello! Is that an ILL? Genocido? Or is it just genocide? Like, I don't know. I will call you Yeno. What do you think of Blender, and why do you think that it's superior 3D software in comparison to Autodesk? Funny question. And why I think it's superior. It feels like someone already angled the question when you ask it that way. Actually, nothing against Blender. It's just nothing I use, I guess. And Aslan says Blender is for plebs. Saying this is a Blender user. You came back just now to this great debate round about Blender. You switched from Max to Blender? Well, actually, honestly, I don't really engage in everyone is like, no, this program is the best and that program is best. I've been using Max and Maya and model in both of them, and yeah, sure, it's Autodesk, but they're quite different. And if someone would ask me to do it in Modo, and that's the company standard tool, I would do it in that as well. So, or if it's Blender. So I'm like, honestly, I don't really care. It's just a tool, as if I would choose a selection between different hammers or saws. It's just like same. This is your opinion about Blender? What did you link? Damn! You have a very strong opinion about Blender, apparently. Someone here is Rigjaw, Modo for the win. And Rob, wanna switch from Blender to Max when I get better PC. It's always a debate, like, whose horse is bigger than the other, or like, yeah. What was I doing? Oh, I was gonna add, a AO map on this one and see how that would. OCC. There we go. Add levels. No, AO. I guess the AO is a little bit too bland. So let's try the curvature. Yikes, I can see people spamming the chat like hot topic on discussion. Is anything happening in here? Okay, a little bit. Oh damn, it's a debate in here about programs. I don't even know where to start when I'm reading this. It's like... Take, so you use Blender for more than 2 years. It's a good program, but the UV toolkit is very outdated. Yeah, no sigh. Zbrush don't care. Zbrush is sitting in the corner watching debates on its own. Modifiers in Max is better. And it's industry standard. I think it depends on the companies though. Like, industry standard on the European companies I've been working for is Maya, so... But I started with Max. That's what I learned in school. Wisla started with Maya. Worked hard for and had license 3D Max, which I was teaching at time like Max, but it's really just learning a new tool, doesn't matter what you use. Yeah, I agree with that. That's exactly how I feel as well, it's just tools. Maya didn't have any good modeling tools until a few years ago, and its UA is clunky as hell. And you have to use a hotbox and modify hotkeys you want to be fast. Blender has a decent hotkey up on installation, clean UI. Hail Blender, wow. It's like, yeah, okay, I see. Feel very strongly about Blender, I guess. Let's have a look in Marmoset on this while the debate is continuing. So the goal didn't change too much, but it's very... Like, the horn is better than the rest, so we have to work a lot with the roughness and do some color adjustments here. It's just that this area is very boring, it's blending easily in with this one. Why I need to use Substance and Marmoset at the same time? I can't render in Substance Painter because I don't have a strong enough like graphic card for that. So the few times I've tried, it actually crashed, and I basically click the button like adding post-process effects or light, and it's just like just crashes the program. So it's a little bit laggy as well, if you haven't noticed. So that's why I'm using Marmoset, because it's working well with the graphic card I have. And as Wisla said, it has slightly different look to the render. So it's multiple reasons. I only have a 770 GTX card in my home computer. So it's quite old by now. I updated everything else except for the graphic card. It's just like too expensive. Graphic cards with people mining for bitcoins or whatnot. Marmoset is nice. It is quite nice. It's simple. Instead of like setting up shaders and stuff like that with Unreal and stuff, it's like, it's, you know, for what I'm doing right now, just simple prop. It's just what I need, I guess. It's my turn for mine for Bitcoin then. 3D scanning and AI will take all your jobs, peasants. Yeah, then Blender will be useless as well, so I guess we all will be unneeded in the future. The Marmoset baking is nice. I actually never tried baking in Marmoset X, or yeah, I usually bake in X normal, or at work in Substance Painter, I guess. But I still feel X normal is giving me all the control that I want, so. Let's just Do I have to go by hand and paint on this? That's kind of what's gonna give me the best result, I guess. Some hand touch. Just gonna quickly see what it looks like. Just removing some of that. And I want to see if I can add a layer with, let's do a color fill, I guess. Not the curvature, but the AO. Right, so if we can we gonna add a black mask and remove the horns from this. No, white mask, of course. Jesus, I'm getting tired. Let's see how that look. Robots will make art for me, Aslan. Oh, someone, David Lesperance did a huge topic on this on Facebook. Oh, about like machines taking over. My oven has the best baking tool, I guess, when it comes to making cakes, for sure. It's quite funny how we say bake about like normal maps, like it should just be like projecting ray tracing or something. We're saying baking instead. I wonder how that sounds for people who are not into game development, like, or maybe 3D art. I'm going to try it. Baking with Marmoset at some point. There's so many tools that does baking right now in general, so it's like it feels like a lot of them are very similar as well. I'm just used to doing my own cages and setup with X normal, so that's why. Going back and forward is tedious. Well, that's also a thing. A couple of years ago, I went back and forth between programs a lot more than I am doing right now, actually. It feels like I'm doing that less and less. Like, I was texturing with Photoshop, covering up seams with Marmoset. No, my god, Mudbox, I mean. Oh, god, I feel a bit scattered brain. So, texturing with Photoshop, covering up seams with Mudbox, generating normal maps if I forgot, to do something in a high poly, with Crazy Bump, at some point sculpting some parts in Zbrush and mixing that with Crazy Bump output, as well as modeling with Max, making cages in Max, or some point even baking with Max and then moving to X normal. And it's like, a lot of back and forth, and then you have other engines to look at your 3D. It's, yeah. I feel like I have less back and forth in between programs at than I used to. So, yeah. My mother still painted shadow and diffuse map using Photoshop CS2. The old way. Tixkim.exe crashed for a bit. Yes, I feel like I'm crashing in general, so it's been a long day. It's already like 11:30 here in the night, so... Marmoset cage is automatic, and you can use paint areas where they push more and fix skewing. Yeah, I've seen that. I've seen some demos about it, so definitely worth a try. You don't need cages with painter either, I think. Enterprise has quite an interesting presentation of AI and procedural tools in the 3D industry on BlenderCon last year. Huh. Maybe I should check that out. But maybe I should first watch all the E3 shit and craze that happened that I missed. So I have I like have a queue with videos that I'm going to watch and a queue of games that I'm gonna play. It's like I need to write a task list for stuff that I need to watch and play, I guess. Neum crazy font. Ew. Well, that was the shit back then, Neum. Remind people of the jam prizes. Not sure if they are prizes, but sure. I have... Let's see, I have 10 of these. EA Play emblems for Battlefield 5. So, I wrote in my Discord that I guess then, because there's 10, the 10 first like submissions in my Art Jam challenge will get these. One each. And the jam ends, what was it? Aslan, I said like 1st of July or something. So yeah, basically you can check that out if you're interested. Maybe I can grab some more, I'm not sure. I got 10 of them, so. 1st of July, yeah. And because I'm away in Japan in July, I'm going 29th, Aslan is the one as my moderator who's going to hand them out. And Roan, if Roan has time. So yes, my mods will take care of that. I just decided. So they will send you codes. You have 10 days, Tex. Yes. Well, everyone had like a month, at least if you joined in the beginning. So we'll see how many people have actually managed to finish. It's like a game art ready asset. So there's some description in the channels there as well. Oh, what's that, Ron? In my opinion, if you don't paint your normal map in GIMP manually and grayscale channel by channel, what are you even doing? Damn. It's a task list to make me have fun, Wisla. It at the moment feels like tedious tasks. Well, guys, I guess there's a few things I still want to polish on this one, but I think the main goal I had today was to have the emissive map working, and it kind of does. Probably still needs some polish, and every time I look at it and open it, I'm just going like, I need to fix that, and at some point I'm just gonna have to stop. But we have the brown material here that's like very bland. I have to do some modification to that to not just like look brown. And then we're gonna make sure that the frame and the horn is popping a bit against each other. So, oh, thank you for the follow, Rob. I appreciate it. moderator. If I'm going to participate in my next art jam myself, I will. I will. This time I was focusing on this one. So for sure, I might do like a small tutorial video on one of the art jam objects that you guys are making right now, one of them free, and post that like on YouTube. There's some people ask me for like a proper tutorial instead of you streaming, but it takes such a long time to record stuff like that. But like, because it's a small prop, I can choose one of them and make like from start to finish tutorial. So that's one of the plans. I'm not sure which one to do though, of those three, but we will see if that's something people like to have. Then we'll see what the next challenge will be. Is it possible to bet in the next art jam? You will bet 2 cookies? How are we gonna bet with cookies? I mean, if we're gonna send each other cookies on the mail, that's gonna, be moldy and rotten when they get to each other's doorsteps, I guess. Lavasi, hi! It's looking really beautiful, thank you. It's still not done perfectly yet. Well, it's not never gonna be done perfectly, but I have a few things that I wanna fix. But it's getting there. It's slowly getting there. Wouldn't it defeat the purpose of Jam to have a tutorial for the whole process? Well, I mean, if you guys already do the objects and I post a tutorial on how I would have done it after you guys have done it, it doesn't really defeat the purpose, right? Because the objects will change every time. So like the carafe people are making now, if I would do a tutorial and post it after the jam, then it doesn't really defeat the purpose. It's like if I would actually sit and do my own jam right now, that would kind of be an interactive, like I would show you how I would do it. So it's also still defeating the purpose a little bit, I guess. Aslan is asking him to help judge the art jam. It would be fun. 3D printing cookies. Oh, that would be fun. We'll see how I do if I participate in jams or if I do tutorials. I mean, tutorials would take a much longer time, but then again, I also wouldn't sit and chat with you guys at the same time, and that's what I like with making art. So if I have time and there's like people liking that, then tutorial on YouTube, I guess. No, not everyone would do the same objects. That's true, Ron. Liam, I would judge myself the winner without even doing an asset, Liam. You just, flat out win. You will earn that YouTube street cred. Well, anyways, you guys can join for 10 more days in the Discord art jam that I have right now. And I have these babies. Well, you're gonna have to own Battlefield 5 in order to get one of these emblems. But yeah, that's, I guess, a requirement for this one. Or as I wrote in the Discord, you will make a friend love you if they are, a fan of Battlefield. So maybe a little bit of a win-win, maybe. Anywho's, I will actually take off now, because I kind of stopped working anyway. I'm just having this picture of the chest. And I will see you guys on Tuesday. And I hope everyone has a good night, and we'll see you in Discord, basically. So with that, I'm going to take off. Thanks for keeping me company, and to the new followers and all the lurkers and everything. I really appreciate that you guys hang out and keep me company when I'm working. So Good night, folks. Bye-bye.